Now it's time to move on to talking about the very natural and normal anger response. So, like the other three, joy, fear, and sadness, or JAFS, joy, anger, fear, and sadness, the anger response is one of our 4 categories for normal responses emotionally to life as it happens around us. We spend a lot of time denying that I get angry. We spend a lot of time saying, nope, I'm not angry, I don't get angry. We tend to judge anger as a bad thing. I think that's because it's protective. We don't like have people angry at us, obviously. So anyway, we spend a lot of time denying that anger exists. That is not true, not possible, and it's not safe. If we didn't have the normal anger response, we'd be in trouble in many ways throughout, now in our lives, throughout the history of human beings. So the anger response, just as normal, just as healthy, just as good as the joy response and the other 2, fear and sadness. Typically, the anger response follows the fear response. It's part of the classic fight-flight response when we're afraid. When something happens that causes us to be afraid, causes the fear response. We have flight or fight. So flight is running like heck away from the danger, like the bear in the woods. And fight is when you feel like, I gotta fight it now. I can't run away, or I shouldn't run away, or in the moment, I can only fight to protect yourself, to continue living, continue existing, as this channel always talks about. Everything is about existing. Everything. And so, in life, it's actively existing, and all these responses are part of it. So when understanding why we get angry at situations in our life and possibilities and people and everything else, it's protective. It's part of the healthy, normal emotional response system that is protective. It's all about avoidance. In other words, joy response causes approach, anger, fear, and sadness causes avoidance and protection in that vein. So typical words that mean the anger response or represent it, that category, typical words are mad, annoyed, disgusted, frustrated, defensive, enraged. So there's thousands of words probably in the English language that represent in some way some shade or strength of the anger response, just like there are for joy, fear, and sadness. So when I talk about any one of these responses, I'm knowing and understanding there are a whole bunch of other words that mean those 4 primary emotions or categories of emotions. Part of what we'll talk about in future episodes is how to manage all of our emotions that are, in fact, harder to manage, and anger is certainly one of them. It's incredibly great in a relational way, and it's incredibly great in terms of managing your stress level if you know how to manage your anger response. And the basic way to do it is to say, wow, that's making me really angry. Okay, what do I do with that? As opposed to just blurting out or getting angry and it all happening all over the place and to other people. If you're monitoring saying, wow, that's causing a big anger response or making me very angry, then you can just acknowledge it and work with it. So we'll keep talking about that over time. But to know today from this episode that the anger response is just as healthy, just as normal, just as natural as the joy response and the fear response and the sadness response. That's the goal today, is to understand how and why it exists, and it's then in the future managing it the best you can, which can be really great to learn how to manage the anger response in the future and in your life. So that's it for today. The next episode will be about the sadness response, the final of the 4, which does include what we clinically call depression at times. And then we'll move on to other subject matters after that. Take care. Have a great day.